What's up, guys? This is Aiden back at you again with another video to show you how to draft. Let's start drafting this master drawing we have here. We'll start doing the 2D and the 3D, and this is going to be the Father's Land Surveying Way, the FLS Way. Alright, let's jump into it. Alright, so from the previous video, I showed you guys how to do all this stuff. Showed you how to get the boundary in there, the XREF, how to do all this field to finish work here. So now we're gonna really essentially try to get this thing moving closer to a final product and get it on the map and get it out to the clients here. So I'm gonna start with the 2D. Let's go over to paper space here. Let's go ahead and double click the middle button, the scroll button here to zoom extents. Let's try probably a 20 scale. We can go in more in 10 scale. Maybe we can get away with an 8. Architects like 8 scale. You can ask them why. D-view. So then we're gonna rotate it so I can get the whole boundary probably if I rotate this, because this is 24 high by 36 wide inches, so we can rotate that. D-view, enter, TW, twist. So remember, counterclockwise is actually positive, and if you want to go clockwise, you have to do negative. So I'm going to go positive 30 degrees. There you go. So you always want the north to be as close to up as possible. It's just drafting conventions and make it easier on everybody. Okay, so we got the road there. Let's see if we can get the boundary in here. Yeah, looks like we can squeeze it. Yeah, looks like we can squeeze it. Let's see what we can do here. If I have to go diagonal, we can go diagonal, because the diagonal is always obviously longer. So I think that's good. Another crew shot the other side of the let's unlock it. You gotta unlock it to do the D. So another crew shot the other side of the road. So maybe let's see what we can do getting the road in here. Yeah, maybe we can do it like that. Put that in the corner there. Yeah, I like that. Get this corner going here. So I have this polygon viewport. That way I can add vertexes to it. It's really nice. I do all my viewports, most of them polygonal viewports here. Okay. So let's see here. We can actually snap this all the way there. And we can just right click shift this guy up. Lock button there. Yeah, see, we don't want to shave off that, so let's rotate negative clockwise a little bit. Let's go negative. Let's go D view, enter, twist, negative 10. See what that does for us. That's too much. Let's go negative 5. Let's go D view, enter, let's go negative 3. So it's pretty, let's go back to 8 scale. 8 scale. Let's go back to, there it is, pretty much parallel with that top line there, so we can squeeze it. Let's hit enter. Yeah. Whoops. Oh. Turn your load snaps off, hit F3. Okay, so we can see that corner there. That looks good. Okay. Let's see. Alright, yeah, I think that's good. We got the boundary, we got the, yeah, I like this. Alright. I got this here. Alright, got north arrow. Alright, cool. So now what we want to do, so you got a bunch of just points here. we're going to double click inside here, make sure the viewport's locked, establish a good 8 scale, how we're going to fit this map in here, see all the boundary lines, looks good. Can mess with this. So now we're going to double click in here and just click these anywhere in these red points. That's not a description key. Don't click on these description key ones. Just click on the, or this is also a description key. See, it changes the, it comes in on a description key, different. This is a standard here, default, right? Default. So right click, select similar, okay, and go to home, and then go PO points. Let's go points serve. Yep, points serve. It's always going to be points serve. So now we can freeze that from the viewport there, just like that. Bam. All right, and man, you guys really shot a lot of these top of walls, which was great. So, and looking great. So now we can do here is we can freeze, we can viewport freeze these break lines, because we don't show these break lines on the 2D. We don't really need to show those on the 2D at all. All right, so that's already looking good. We're also going to freeze. Let's go ahead and freeze the control. Sometimes we don't want to show the control. We don't really need it. Great. He shot the invert. It's great. He's got a rim here. Great. Let's drag that stuff out. So let's see what we got going here. EG, some EG there. Let's go into model space so we can see what's going on there. We can zoom in. Okay, so it looks like these maybe should have been brake lines. He's got some gravel. Looks like, so we're probably gonna want to take a look at some of the photos to clean some of that up. Looks like another trench drain. So we'll change these. We'll change these to point serve layer. Type PO point serve. And just change these to ST standard. All right. So now they're just DI edge. It's just trench drain. And these are, what are these here? Probably bushes. Yeah, landscaping stuff here. Cool. I like that. Edge gravel road. I like that a lot. It's got brake lines there. Plenty of brake lines. Looks like the building's shot well. It's all one figure, which is great. Actually, let's extend this vertex here to here. Okay, now we got one solid figure there. Looks like his econ is floating into his building there. Not sure what happened there. Building, he's got econ here. I think that's a mistake. He's got an econ there. So I can go ahead and break that for him or move that for him. Yeah, let's go ahead and move that over here for him. I actually like the way they draft these as closed figures because I can just hatch these, which is kind of cool. So I'm assuming that one's going over there. And let's actually move this guy over here too. Yeah. This guy's gonna, obviously it should be, we'll have to see what happened here. See what's going on. If maybe he had some type of bad shot. 65. Okay, that's the same elevation. Building corner was, obviously the building corner was a DR shot, direct reflectorless shot. So, but that's a good shot. He's got a shot here in the middle. That's why I tell him to get these. Let's move that. Oh, yeah. So that's, see how far that off. How far off that is? That's 1300s. Not bad. That's why I tell him to get one of those face shots so we can check to see how off their corners are. Yeah, so that's 300. It's a lot better. So this one probably could slide over a little bit to match, right? Let's go a couple hundreds more online. Yeah, And so yeah, it's probably closer to that econ he shot, to be honest. Yep, it's probably closer to that econ. So he probably got some weird pop out there. So now if you go to here, it's gonna be a lot better. Yeah, it's only 900s. So let's just put this back on here. All right. Building looks good. All right, and we can remove those vertexes there. They're good checks. Great checks there. Some of these, sometimes I just leave them all the faces on there. It doesn't really matter. All right, cool. I have this really cool command that I found. It's called HOF. Specify the offset distance 1.5. Go just hit enter. Click anywhere, enter a bunch of times. Creates this cool little building style here. You click that. You put that on 5 scale. Let's go hatch transparency 0. This should go on its own layer. Let's go hatch building. Okay, make sure it's not on associative, so then we can delete this. And then it creates an extra polyline for you for some reason. So now you have this cool old building style that looks like a building. So right, so it looks like it's kind of like the old style, topo style, makes it look like a building. Then you could rotate that to make that make more sense, look better. Okay, cool. Looking good here. So he's got a DI there. What's he got going on here? Top of wall, break line. Looks like he's got his back of sidewalk. His break line's crossing his back of sidewalk. So we'll have to check on that, see what's going on there. Could be the type of curve, you know, if you have a curve wherever you're shooting, you got to shoot in the right place or it'll look like it's crossing. So we'll have to, when it comes time for that back of sidewalk, either choose one or drag this brake line over. So that's okay, we don't need the brake lines for now. So here's what we're going to start doing. Let's start forming these top of walls, or these wall shots. Let's just go from left to right, top to bottom. Okay, this one he's got good. He doesn't have any top of wall shots. Brake lines going on top of walls. So let's see here. Let's see what we got. So that's 2. So our wall 2. It's +7 means start of the line. It's a 2-inch wood wall, and it's shot the north side. So I have another custom code. It's OCEJ. Offset join close. Close or joins the end. So I click it, and now basically it wants to know the width. So I go 2 divided by 12. That's 2 inches, and I move it to the side here. Boom, and it creates that there. Looks great. Okay, while I'm here, I see this building corner is supposed to be a CL. So the reason why it didn't close by itself is because he put -7 first. So you're supposed to put close first, and then you could -7. So I have to let my party chief know. So then you can HOF that again, 1.5, enter, click in the center, just hit enter, 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 and then we can match properties, MA, click that, match that, delete that, delete that, delete that. Okay, so let's see, we got another top of wall here, and looks like he forgot to get some brake lines on the side of it. So the 2-inch wood north, OCOJ, click it again, 2-212, okay. See what we got here, same thing, let's shot that on the south side, 2 divided by 12, put it up there, okay, looks good. See what we got here, another wood wall, 8.5 conc west. Let's see that J. So actually the 8.5s don't work. So you just round it to the, probably round it up. So 9 divided by 12 is 0.75. Bam, just like that. So he's got some crossing break lines here. That's because it's not perfectly 0.75, of course. That's alright. Another top of wall here. 5.5, let's round it up to 6. Wood south. Click it, go 0.5. Another top of wall here. So you can see this kind of tedious stuff that needs to get done. Let's go 6 by 12 or 0.5. Yeah. Alright, that's making a little sense here. What do we got here? 2-inch wood wall to east. Alright, what happened here? So it looks like he's got a couple +7. So let's see, is this? Let's see what happened there. It could have been a bad shot. Yeah, it could be a bad shot. I'll have to check on that to see how that wall's really, what that wall's doing. So that's why we got the pictures, and I tell the guys to get plenty of pictures. So let's go. Got pictures of the monuments. That's cool. Pipes in the, there you go. So we look around here, we can just sort through, kind of see what's really going on with the lay of the land. It's got an electric meter there. Okay, that's the side of the house. Cool. All right. So let's see here. So that's that concrete retaining wall. So I can put that off to the side here. So where is, that's probably this concrete retaining wall here. And you guys can't see this, but I'm just gonna pull this stuff off to the side. I can't really draft two at the same time. So let's just walk the site a little bit, see what's going on. Okay, he's got these little landscape things. Okay, he's got a wood wall going up there. So let's see, maybe I can do something like this so we can see what's going on. I don't really need all of this right now and all of this properties right now. And I don't need all of this. There you go. All right, so we can see that. Looks good. So our area of concern was it back here somewhere? So let's keep going there. All right, so he's walking up the stairs. Up here, turns the corner. Okay. He's got, okay, big stairs going up there. He's got this conch area here. We got those, great. He's got a big deck up here. Yep, shot the deck, great. And then looks like the deck goes down also down here. And there's a little, okay, these aren't really retaining walls. These are more like more like landscape edges. I wouldn't call those retaining walls. Maybe a retaining wall on this side. Okay. And he's got, oh, is there a little wood wall there? I see. Yeah, just a little wood wall there. So that's probably a bad shot there. So I'll keep these as retaining walls, but they're really landscape edges. So they'll probably say something about that. So I'll have to make a note that in the survey. This little outbuilding here. Really a great job with this topo. Little gravel walkways here. Kind of don't really matter. Just brake lines really. I would have maybe, doesn't really warrant shooting those as actual gravel walkways necessarily. It's great. It's got the fence shots. It's great. All right. So I'll pull that off to the side now over here because I kind of know what's going on now. Yeah, okay. So this wall's going here, looks great. And he had a wall there. Okay, that makes sense. Probably a wall there, and then he walks down. Let me actually take a look. You walk out of the, you come out of the deck. You come out off the deck. Yeah, I guess that's a wall, retaining wall. Sometimes you don't get the best pictures you want. Yeah, that's for sure. Walls coming here, and you got this deck here, and you got some. They're not really retaining walls. It's more like landscape edges. Yeah, and this is not really a retaining wall either. It's more like just like a wood step. Yeah, they're just wood steps. So, yeah, retaining walls. They're kind of wood steps. It looks like they're retaining, but that's all good. So we can do away with those. Put these as steps probably. And just match properties. So if we wanted to, I'm sure these are all the same. So we'll just call it a 6 foot or a 6 inch. 5. Okay, and then we'll move that back. And really this whole side, this whole side. Yeah, this whole side has kind of like a little retaining, little kind of landscape edging there. So, going like this or something. We'll just call that a 2. There you go. That makes sense. So we can match both properties there. REA regenerates it. So I really don't need all these. I might convert these to break lines. Yeah, actually, you don't really need. You didn't need to shoot all those like that. You could probably got away with just spot shots in there. So I'll put those as break lines. This GR1. I don't know what GR is, gravel or something. So do all the walls. So that's kind of what I'm kind of showing you guys. Do all the walls, fix all the anomalies. So it's like we got something going on here we need to fix. Remove that vertex. Break this line here. Oops. So what we got? Okay, let's break this here. Move that vertex. Okay. So it looks like maybe this was supposed to go here. Yeah. That can delete. There you go. Looks like it makes more sense. So that's pretty much it there. Just do the cleanup, do all the walls, OCEJ. So I'll probably pause the video once you come back to, I'm just going to fast forward now, might as well. And then we edit this stuff. You put the job number here, real kind of tedious stuff. Again, 6-4 city. This is, I think it's Corte Madera. Madera. It's 104 Walnut. Double check it. Put the APN in there. Vicinity map, I kind of don't do that very much anymore. I might take a Google screenshot. So that's pretty much the 2D stuff, is cleaning it up, and then you can do sometimes we do hatching. So we'll hatch the deck, hatch the deck, and you put dolomite, ABC dolomite. There you go, dolomite, and then it's on the specific layer it's supposed to be. So hatch match deck, and you gotta scale it just right, 5 or something, and you can have transparency 0, and you can, whatever the way the decks are going, you can move it. Hatch, and then we could probably hatch the concrete. It looks a lot better. You don't really have to, it just looks better on the map for mapping. Looks like these are little concrete blocks. And then let's see here. Let's hatch this deck again, or we can just match properties, make it easy. It's a smaller deck, so maybe I'll rotate it and reduce the scale to 3 maybe. Yep. And then you can do line type generation, makes everything nice and consistent. And we'll freeze this layer. That's the boundary layer. We don't need that. We just want the boundary here. And a lot of it's going to be cleaning up. So a lot of it's going to be put. We don't need a spot shot like this every single one. So so maybe we'll take this one and you put it on the point serve layer. You don't need it no more. So we'll have to get in here and turn this stuff off. Okay. So let's see what else here. Let's see what else. Showing you guys when it comes down to spot shots. So you go to point groups. When you want to start putting spot shots in, you go to properties, include numbers matching, and then usually I put spot shots where it makes sense. See where he puts conch? That's probably a good spot. Get some context here as a top of wall. What's the econ doing here? What's the econ doing there? It's got some break lines. So econ here, down the steps, one down the step here. A1 on the back of sidewalk. Top of curb already comes in. Get the back of sidewalk here. Some conch shots here. Looks good. Electric meter. Let's see here. Maybe some shots on the other side of the wall, on the brake, so they can see what the earth is doing. Shot on the top, shot on the bottom. Both sides of that wall. Maybe shot down here on the step. Shot somewhere up here on the step. Really just showing people what the elevation, what the kind of relief is doing here. Let's get an edge of gravel here. Edge of gravel. So kind of just no real exact science, but we're just giving the architect or the whoever's going to get it, the engineer, kind of put these spot shots so they can know, okay, this is going up in elevation. They could follow. All right, you put it's got to make sense. Don't just put random shots, So obviously there's ground shots. The contours are going to show that, so that's fine. You put some breaks here to show that this is kind of a somewhat retaining a little bit. And then looks like this is the same grade from the picture, so we'll probably make this a break line. Contours will go right up to there. Let's see. Get a deck shot there. Let's get a break line there. Get a step shot. Maybe a break here. Break up there. Just like know what's going on. I'm wondering if that wall turned this corner, if he forgot that wall shot. Because he got the wall shot there. More than certain there. And yep, so stuff like that. Get that EC, concrete, econ. Let's get a break line. So there you go. Break line, top of the wall. Let's get the econ. Put the spot shots in. So it looks like there's a whole separate pad there. Edge of gravel. Edge of gravel there. Water backflow preventer. Shot on the gravel. Shot on the ground. It's probably the ground, yeah. ground shot. Get the back of sidewalk, edge of pavement, edge of pavement, edge of pavement there. Let's get an AC shot. AC, edge of pavement, PAC. Let's get the back of sidewalk there. You can kind of see them highlighted, so it makes a little sense. Just telling the story. Spot shots. Okay. Let's get EP there. Let's get a break. Not break. It's gonna confuse them. So what's going on here? Get the deck. Break. Shot on the deck. And we should get a shot on the conch. This is another wall here. What's going on? Get the wall shots. Breaks on both sides. Got some steps. What's going on here? Break, 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 break there. Alright. So then you right click all that. That's kind of a lot of work. So maybe you right click before. Hit OK. And then you hit REA, regen. And what that's going to do, it's going to make those look like this, just elevation only. Select them all. And then put points show. Okay. Boom. Alright, so that's kind of how we do 2D, and see they show up here now, and kind of got to manipulate this. You know, if you need to rotate them, you just click the point here, click this grip here and rotate. You can rotate it around that. If you got it overlapping, you know, you're going to want to click that, rotate that, So pretty easy stuff here, just pretty tedious. So that's kind of how you do the 2D. And then put in the title block here, kind of whatever you have room. Looks like we have room here. Put this whole block. Now I'm actually gonna move my polygonal viewport out of here. I like to have a nice border like that. Gives me like a clear, just mentally, kind of a clear break there. Alright. So then we could also, don't forget to label the boundary line. So add labels. Line and curve. This is all our templates here. Stuff is all pre-selected. Okay. Label that one. So this was, so we have to flip that one. Right click, flip. Alright. Line curve there. That's the, let's see here. So we gotta do our curve lathe style, be correct. Okay, get this long line, bearing a distance here. And okay, and then I select similar, go to my layers, type TEXT, enter. Boom, puts them all in the text layer. Okay. And then I would start labeling, go to text, MT for text. And then I can start labeling. I always usually label this existing residence, and then usually the address. I think it's 104 Walnut. Yeah, 104 Walnut Ave. Okay, and then select them all and justify the center. Okay, and then you gotta label the street. And then I usually change the style, type ST. And then I put street. Okay, yes. Set current, yes. Apply, yes. And empty. Then put 1 av. So this came in, this has been getting messed up for some reason. It should be annotated, yes. It should be 1 to 8. It should be 0.12. Okay, rotate that like that. 1 at av. Okay. So yeah, aside from any other cleanup stuff, yeah. So basically what we do there. So we'll go ahead and call this a wrap for this video and we'll work on a 3D. All right, thanks.